They're fantastic, their car flies, and there are 4 of them. What more could you possibly need to know?
Yeah, I don't know, that's a tough one.
How about, why is a planet-eating giant named Galactus trying to devour Earth? Let's explain how the Fantastic Four take their first steps into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Forget Neil Armstrong, come on.
After 3 movie versions that didn't quite stick the landing, the Fantastic Four are trying to prove that the 4th time's a charm for Marvel's first family. With an all-star cast of Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, and Ebon Moss-Bachrach as Ben Grimm, this 2025 film hopes to be the definitive adaptation of the comic books that made Marvel a household name in the 1960s.
It's clobbering time!
And that's exactly why Marvel set the Fantastic Four first steps in the 1960s. Test footage shown at 2024 San Diego Comic-Con revealed a retro-futurist style inspired by both early comic book art and by artist and industrial designer Sid Mead, who contributed sketches and concepts to sci-fi films like Star Trek, Blade Runner, Aliens, and Tron. But don't expect to see this test footage in the final film, as principal photography didn't start until after Comic-Con.
Well, we've been in 3 weeks of prep, which has been quite luxurious and helpful. You don't always get that. And we did 1 day of filming, but we start principal photography on Tuesday. So I guess we'll have to come back and tell you what our first proper day on set was like when we do it.
The period setting will also free the MCU of having to tie the Four's origin, or their principal arch-nemesis Dr. Doom's backstory, into any existing storylines across the past 5 phases of movies and shows, which mostly took place in the present day or very near future.
Now, who knows what those ne'er-do-wells might be up to?
Well, WandaVision only appeared to take place in the past, but those pitch-perfect TV decades were occurring only in the Scarlet Witch's short-circuiting mind, while behind the scenes, those recreations of I Love Lucy, The Brady Bunch, and Family Ties were the work of director Matt Shakman, whose stylistic attention to detail must have impressed someone at Marvel enough to get the gig to direct the Fantastic Four.
We are in our own world in the 60s, the retro future 60s. You don't need to know anything about the MCU.
Shakman took the reins after Spider-Man director John Watts stepped down to take a break from directing superhero films. But Shakman's fresh start and this time period indicate that Marvel's multiverse will be alive and well in Phase 6, which evokes even more questions about how the Four end up in 2026 for Avengers Doomsday. But if Hulk has said it once, he's said it 1,000 times.
Time travel!
Before the Four take on their old foe, Victor Von Doom, in that film, they'll face Galactus in First Steps. The enormous supervillain born from a cosmic egg who devours entire worlds to sustain himself is played by Ralph Ineson and joined by his herald, or intergalactic messenger, the Silver Surfer, played by Julia Garner. The terrible twosome first appeared in 1966's Fantastic Four number 48 in a storyline that could inspire what we'll see in First Steps.
Who says you have to be normal to have a family?